I think they want it to be even worse than that era because some people were able to transition if you could appeal enough to gatekeepers. Um, that was even, pretty true, I would say, even when I transitioned. Was basically like your ability to survive in society came down to whether or not you were cis-passing enough. And, whether or not you could convince the gatekeeper people, that you were, truthful, which really sucked. Having to convince a therapist and a psychiatrist that you're, by their standards, mentally fucked up enough, because that's what back then that they considered a mental illness. So like when I first started in 2011, I was slated to go to the University of Minnesota for treatment, which is ironically where I used to work. And it gave me a 6-month wait, which sucked, but whatever. I hate that. You saw how I look. I do pass. Yeah, you do, Tiff. You do. Yeah, they gave me a 6-month wait, and they gave me paperwork showing like, my demographic information and all that, and they diagnosed me before they even saw me, and they diagnosed me with having quote-unquote transvestic fetishism disorder. Yeah, that's literally what they were calling trans people just 15 years ago. They were just equating us to that whole bullshit AGP thing, Yeah, it pissed me off so bad that I said, fuck it, I am not going to the University of Minnesota. I'm done with that bullshit. So I hopped onto Reddit, believe it or not, of all places. I went onto Reddit and I went into the trans subs, and I asked around to see if there were people in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area who knew of anybody else who gave out HRT, which, back then it was like really hit or miss. You couldn't really find it. But I found an OBGYN at a local clinic who had been stealthily practicing for about 20 years at that point. And she had a lot of opinions about the University of Minnesota. And she didn't like them. She thought they weren't aggressive enough in their approach. So she was really great to me. And I was with her for like 10 years. She just retired. I'm really happy about having seen her. But I would have never been able to do it had I not gone onto Reddit. So never underestimate the support you can get through these online groups like on Reddit or even Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever you meet people. Never underestimate it. So because like through that way, that's how I also found hormones in the black market as well. Does anyone know when informed consent started becoming common? I do, Sabrina. Actually, I gave a speech last semester in one of my classes comparing the old medical consent model that we had, which is what I went through, and the informed consent model, which is what most trans people nowadays go through. So it started at a Boston area hospital in 2007, and it slowly started becoming a thing. And by about 2015 or so, it was pretty much universal, which was just in time for me to have, finished my transition. So it was nice and convenient. But that was also the time when they changed the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistics Manual that psychiatrists use. They changed it to no longer pathologize being transgender. So, yeah, that's when informed consent happened. So, but if you listen to the rhetoric that they're using these anti-trans people they're trying to go push us back to the old model, the one that I had to go through, and they're trying to say like, we can't have trans people making the decision to transition before age 19, and then it gets moved to age 25 because the brain isn't fully developed, quote unquote. So luckily I spoke to an actual therapist who properly diagnosed me with gender dysphoria as well as PTSD, anxiety disorder, and depression, but it was separate from the gender dysphoria. Yeah. I'm learning today. Yeah. I'm glad that you're learning. I am full of knowledge about all this stuff. I have a degree in it, obviously. So, but yeah, transitioning back then was an experience. So, informed consent saves trans lives, especially mine. Yeah. It would have been a lot nicer to have not had to do the real life experience test. I think I mentioned it on my last stream that it was a very humiliating experience, and it's given me permanent social anxiety problems. I constantly am thinking about, do I pass? And I can't shake that. I know that I look fine, but like I can't shake it. No matter how hard I try, and it gives me really bad anxiety. So, yeah, thank you, Sasha. Yeah, I don't know. They probably like thought that they were trying to do it to make sure that I was like sure uncertain of it, but yeah. I've heard TERF say they want the minimum age for a medical transition to be 30 for autistic people and 25 for everyone else. Yeah, you notice how they continue to move the goalposts, continually move it and over and over and over again. Eventually it's going to be, they don't want anybody to transition. And that recent executive order by Trump to ban gender affirming care for people under the age of 19, specifically the fact that they put in 19. I'm not a lawyer, but I've taken some law classes, but I'm theorizing that by adding in age 19, it will go to the Supreme Court, where they will end up having to decide whether gender affirming care for adults is legal or not. So, not to stress anybody out, but I mean, what they really want is to just stop. They've been open about that, yeah. What the only dead trans people, like, let's be honest, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. But hey, we're fighting that right now. We're getting together. We're trying to be informed. We're speaking up. We're using whatever resources we can and whatever resources we have to bring attention to it. Like I'm a good writer, so I've been trying to write about it, and I had this PC system, that I have, so I was just like, hey, I should start streaming. I'm not, I was telling Sasha earlier that I'm not particularly good at speaking. I have really bad social anxiety, and I was telling her the entire morning I was like freaking out about doing this stream, but hey, we have to do it. We have to speak up. We have to organize. So yeah, I have no illusions about what these people want for us. Pretending they can be reasoned with is naive. Yeah, I agree for sure. I've been rationing my HRT as much as I can, but I don't know how long my stockpile will last if the worst does happen. Oh yeah, doing a great job, by the way. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's the thing with like social anxiety, is that it's like when I gave that speech I was telling you guys about in my class last semester on the informed consent. I was so nervous about going up there and giving it. I didn't, I'll be honest, I didn't really prepare for it. I kind of just went off based on what I knew about it and what I had previously read when I was writing my report for it. And by the end of it, it was supposed to be a 5 to 7 minute speech with questions included in that. And it ended up being about 45 minutes. And it ended the class, and all of the other students were shaking my hand, thanking me for my time. And my professor was just like, "Holy shit, Jenna, you gave an amazing speech." She's like, "You should really teach." And I was just like, "You gotta be kidding me," because I was freaking the fuck out up here. So yeah, just a little side story there, but I called out a transphobe on that who said that they want to kill gender ideology. I told him that y'all want trans people dead. Yeah, I mean, they don't want to, some of them don't want to admit it, but we all know what they want to do. They want the full measures. They don't want to take half measures. They don't want to reason with us. Like, I've told a transphobe that I talked to that, one of our compromises with children's gender affirming care is just giving them puberty blockers. That is our compromise. That is us compromising. And they were not having it. They were saying that it like causes harm to them and all that, and it's bullshit. If you stop taking Lupron, you're gonna go through puberty just as you normally would. When I was chair of a Gender Justice League, I believe it is, in Seattle, I was also the volunteer leader, so I had to speak to groups of over 50 plus sometimes and organized the Pride event, which had 180 volunteers. Both years I did it on average. Holy shit, that is a lot. I don't know if I could do that. I know when I worked for a Transgender Action Fund, they wanted me to do volunteer outreach, and I was pretty nervous at the idea of organizing volunteers because I used to work on a couple of Democratic campaigns back 2008, 2009, 2010 I did, and it was really tough for me to like canvas, go door to door because of my anxiety. Nothing they say is informed by knowledge or empathy. Yeah, so on the previous video, I don't know if you guys caught the comment on that news article video, speaking of it, but I wonder if I can actually bring it up with that. Let's see. I was reading this comment. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Y'all missed the point. He never had a problem with individuals being gay. He had a problem with people that are trans trying to make people accept trans identities and oppressed those who didn't follow their ideals. If you're gay or lesbian, you're fine. If you're trans, don't bully people to accept who you are if they don't accept yourself. Yeah, fuck that shit. You kidding me? Like, I've been told that by a few transphobes that, like, they feel like we're bullying them and that, like, we're fighting too hard for our rights. You know, like, I've heard Brianna Wu say that shit too. You know, she'll say that, like, trans activists are fighting too hard and they're causing, like, issues for acceptance of trans people. And then it's just like, it's so fucking frustrating. Because it's so see-through, it's so naive, it's so stupid. Canvassing was harder for me. I was on the Oregon marriage equality campaign in 2013-2014 with my ex, and she did most of the talking for canvassing. Canvassing is so hard. Brianna Wu's ways to say this. I mean, I'd hate to talk about another trans woman like that. I really try not to disparage other trans women, but it's fucking hard with her. The shit that she that I see she says. Like, I have her blocked on all of social media, but I obviously see screenshots of everything she says. I can't do it. I was part of my doing this channel was I was going to try. I can't believe I'm going to commit to this, but I'm going to listen to her podcast because I want to examine the stupid shit that her and her friends are saying about trans activists, so we can refute them. And I cannot believe I'm committing myself to that, but I think it's important that I do. She's saying that in comfort of her own home. What has she done for the community? Nothing. Yeah, for real. Equality means we call them out on their bullshit. Sorry, yeah. Same argument as just keep it in the bedroom for gay people. Yep. It's basically helping the bigots kill us. Yep, I completely agree with that. I don't understand. I just don't understand the thinking, I guess. Like the other day, I think I said this on the last stream. I think you'll need some self-care after listening to that. Yeah. I think I'm gonna need some self-care after listening to it too. I think I remember what it. Yeah, there it is. Right now, a protest just getting underway. Listen to these people. I can't believe that I'm gonna sit here and listen to them. They are some of the worst hot take people in our community. So yeah. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for you guys, so you guys don't have to listen to it. So I can tell you exactly what is happening. So. Oh, Kelly is racist. I didn't know that. I don't know too much about her, but by the way, what time is the British guest coming on stream? JB, what time are you coming on, do you think? Let's see, I was gonna show just a few more videos after this. And then I was gonna have Jade come on, assuming she's still here. Because we were going to talk about the rise of reform and just like the general, I guess, like what's going on there. Okay, yeah. Let me just show a couple of we'll finish these videos, and I have just a couple more, and then we can go over it, okay?